Wide receiver Zay Flowers went against Sauce Gardner, the defensive rookie of the year in the NFL on the New York Jets. Went against Sauce Gardner, did not even come away with a single reception. Actually had one rush for -3 yards. Then you have a player, a wide receiver like Nathaniel Tank Dell going against him. Sauce Gardner, the defensive rookie of the year last year, and went against him twice. First matchup, he had 3 receptions for 60 yards. And that second matchup, he had 9 receptions, 152 yards, and a touchdown. So to me, it's clear that there's some wide receivers that the Buffalo Bills should definitely be considering. Again, coachable deficiencies. Some of these guys have deficiencies. Some of their skill sets might not make them top-tier picks and could very well have them fall to the Buffalo Bills. Well, welcome to my channel, Bills News Consolidated. We got to discuss it. Zay Flowers, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, Tank Dell. Who are the Buffalo Bills going to be? Marvin Harrison Jr. is another guy that I want to discuss. But looking at the top prospects here, it's clear that I've been banging the table here for Jaxon Smith-Njigba. He's clearly the top wide receiver for me and the Buffalo Bills. 6'1", almost 200 pounds, ran a 4.4940. Now, the problem with him is that he was injured last year. And this is kind of the theme of today's video, right? The best ability is availability. And knowing that teams are concerned about the durability and injury of these players, you know, Jaxon Smith-Njigba missing all of last year is definitely a concern for NFL teams. Is he durable? There are durable concerns for Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Very well could have him slip to the 27th overall pick for the Buffalo Bills. And in addition, he really didn't play too much on the outside. He was more of that slot wide receiver, playing and sitting in zones. And that's what the Buffalo Bills face, right? We face a lot of teams playing zone against Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis and this entire offense. So Jaxon Smith-Njigba could easily come into the Buffalo Bills, have a seamless transition, knowing that we're going to be playing against a lot of zone. He excels in zone. He's awfully a great player. He ran a very, very fast shuttle time. He actually ran a faster shuttle time than Odell Beckham Jr., which is something to keep an eye on, right? Those cuts when you're route running, you know, putting that foot in the ground and your burst, your transition step, those are some key things. And Jaxon Smith-Njigba might not have that top end speed, right? 4.4940 maybe won't make him a top 10, top 15 pick in this year's NFL draft. But what he does have is a knack and feel for defenders. He knows run after catch ability, right? When he has the ball in his hands, he has a great feel of where those defenders are, and he knows how to get more yards, right? It's not always about speed. It's about ball carrier vision, about juking, stiff arming. There's so many things that go into gaining more yards after the catch. So Jaxon Smith-Njigba, to me, is clearly the #1 wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills in this year's NFL draft. And if he's there at 27th overall, I really think it's a slam dunk, no-brainer. Even if you have guys like DeJuan Jones there, some other talents like Jack Campbell, Drew Sanders, Trenton Simpson, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, to me, is a #1 choice. Now, moving on, I already mentioned Zay Flowers. Similar type skill set, a little bit smaller, but a lot faster. But again, what happened? Going against Sauce Gardner, could not even come away with the reception. You know, I don't like that. I don't like that, especially knowing that we're going to be developing this player, Zay Jones, and trying to develop him in the background. And the other thing, too, is I think Zay Jones' value in this year's NFL draft is just going to be too much for the Bills to pull the trigger. I don't see Zay Jones slipping or falling to the Buffalo Bills at a reasonable rate. But a player like Tank Dell, Nathaniel Tank Dell, I already mentioned, went against Sauce Gardner in college, the defensive rookie of the year last year in the NFL, and completely roasted him. What? Are you kidding me? 9 receptions, 152 yards, and a touchdown against Sauce Gardner in college? I'm sure if Tank Dell goes against Sauce Gardner in the NFL, Buffalo Bills versus New York Jets, I'm sure Sauce is going to have a restless sleep the night before because he got roasted by Tank Dell. Now, why would Tank Dell fall to the Buffalo Bills? Strictly his size and also his durability. 5'8", only 170 pounds. How durable can he be in the NFL? There are some injury concerns, and that could very well hurt his draft stock. And also maybe not playing against top-tier talent at Houston, maybe not the best program in the world, but again, still went against Sauce Gardner and shredded him up. shredded him up. And I really believe the Buffalo Bills could find him later in the draft. Potential 3rd round, maybe 4th round draft pick for Tank Dell would make a ton of sense. And then you have another player here that's high on my list here. It is Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, do I need to say anymore? His father, Hall of Fame wide receiver, unbelievable talent in the NFL. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. growing up with that, learning from that, visually seeing that, and also he was named the 2nd freakiest athlete in college football in 2022. So the things that hurt Marvin Harrison Jr. is a little bit slower of a 40 time, a 4.59 40 time. But the thing is, he's 6'3". He's that jump ball, high ball, 50-50 ball type wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills that we don't necessarily have. I guess Gabe Davis is the closest thing to that. But again, he's not 6'3", 6'4", in the jump ball situations. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. would be a dynamic fit for the Buffalo Bills, and it actually goes back to being available. The reason why Marvin Harrison Jr. saw the field last year and got a lot more extra targets, having over 1,000 yards receiving and double-digit touchdowns, it's because Jaxon Smith-Njigba got hurt. He went down, Marvin Harrison Jr. stepped in and started balling out of control. And again, you know, people are concerned. We look into those 40 times, a 4.59 40 compared to Jaxon Smith-Njigba's 4.49 40. Keep in mind, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, 6'1", 200 pounds. Marvin Harrison Jr., 6'3", around 200 pounds. So you look at that 6'3", it's a little bit harder to be faster, that tall, but you have to look, the 20-yard shuttle. Okay, Jaxon Smith-Njigba ran a 3.93 shuttle time, which is unbelievable. Marvin Harrison Jr. ran a 3.94 40 time, which is exactly the same as Odell Beckham. So this is absolutely insane to understand. A 6'3" wide receiver that's running a shuttle time as fast as Odell Beckham had his father, Hall of Fame wide receiver. Unbelievable talents here for the Buffalo Bills. So I know a lot of Bills Mafia wants to jump on Zay Flowers. They want to jump on all these other wide receivers. But I want to see a guy that is going to be selected at a great spot for the Bills, at a great value. And I think Jaxon Smith-Njigba can plug and play day one, can compete with Khalil Shakir, Trent Sherfield, Deontay Hardy in the slot. And I think that would be a great fit. And then you have guys like Tank Dell, Marvin Harrison Jr. that we could select, that we could develop in the background a little bit, right? And I think this would be a huge factor for the Buffalo Bills. Well, guys, if you enjoyed this video, I deeply appreciate it. Please hit like, subscribe. I'm really honestly trying to keep this channel alive. Starting a new job, getting into some new stuff here. So we'll see the future of this channel. You guys just hit like, subscribe, keep this thing going, and I'll keep popping out these videos. Go Bills. Peace.